Hey there guys, how are you? It's been a while, but welcome to a brand new Q&A Ask Anything, where you guys ask anything down below in the comments section, and I answer it. With all that said, let me take a drink of this. Hang on. Let me do a spin. Alright, so with all that done and over with, yeah, we got a lot of questions here tonight. Some really good ones that you guys left in the comments on the last Q&A video and on Twitter. And before we dive into the questions, go grab something salty or sweet to eat and a beverage. 3 ice cubes, no more, no less. You know how it goes. Alright, and before we dive into the questions, I first wanted to mention I have a few new vlog videos here on the John Flickster channel. Yeah, I'll put the links down below and the thumbnails right here. Boop! Boop! Yeah, there's a flip trip video and another vlog where I go to Walmart, so definitely watch those. They're a little bit weird, but I think you'll rather enjoy them. So, alright, let's dive into the questions here. Are you more excited about Star Wars or Batman versus Superman? Alright, if you guys watch my channels, you probably already know the answer to this, but let me say this. Star Wars looks phenomenal. The Force Awakens, that's everything I wanted in a new Star Wars movie years ago. And then in 1999, we got the prequels, and everyone was just like, what the fuck was that? Misa Jar Jar Binks! But yeah, The Force Awakens looks phenomenal. I want to see that movie. But I love Batman. I love Batman too much. It's not even healthy how much I love that character, that vigilante of the night, that billionaire playboy who just happens to put on a cape and cowl to fight crime because his parents were gunned down in front of him. Alright? So if I had to pick which movie to watch tonight, I would probably go with Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. I just need to see that movie. I need to see Batman and Superman kick each other's ass. I just need that. But Star Wars would be a very close second to that. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Alright, the next question is, John, I'm sorry, I might burp a little bit. Yeah, energy drinks, they make you do that. Alright, the next question is, John, have you seen the Gods of Egypt trailer? Unfortunately, I have. when the movie studio that puts out a trailer disables comments, you know they're like, yeah, this is a piece of shit, but just put it out there. Here are my quick thoughts on it. Have you guys ever seen the movie Clash of Titans, the remake Clash of the Titans, starring Sam Worthington? Yeah. If you thought that was a bad movie that just looked like mediocre, overbloated Hollywood crap mixed with Greek mythology and things like that, this is sort of like that. If that movie took a shit on the ground, that's what the Gods of Egypt trailer would be. It makes you question how things like this get made. Like, someone read this script, said, that's a good idea, let's invest millions and millions of dollars into this idea. And then they just failed in every aspect of it, including the execution of it, because it looks like a PS2 video game at times. Some of the green screen effects during the trailer it looks like green screen effects that I shot here in the Foot Cave in like 25 minutes. Like, you can almost see how rigid the line is around the actors in the background. It doesn't mesh well. It looks like there's studio lights. It just looks awful. And it looks like the definition of a bad movie. It looks like a B-rate straight to Netflix movie, or straight to Redbox, or straight to DVD. It does not look like it should be a theatrical release. Yeah, it makes that really shitty movie that came out a year or two ago, Pompeii, it makes that look like Schindler's List. So the Gods of Egypt trailer, it has robot Sphinx transformer things flying around. I don't know what the fuck is happening. Like, I think it seems like a 9-year-old kid wrote that script, and like his father's a producer in Hollywood and he has a lot of connections, and he's like, I love my son. Here's what I'm going to do for him. Let's make this fucking movie, guys. Do it! And then somebody invested like $35 million and they're making that movie. So I can't wait to watch it, because I'm going to laugh hysterically the whole fucking time. It just looks like shit. So those are my thoughts. Alright. If you could be in any movie from the 80s, what would it be? That's a good question. And I know what a lot of you are thinking. You're thinking, over the top. Winner takes all, loser takes the fall. I'm stuttering. Too much caffeine today. But you know what? I probably wouldn't be in that. You know, if I could pick any 80s movie to be in, I would probably go with Predator, man. Imagine being one of the badass mercenaries in Predator, right? So, like, I look a little bit young. Maybe I could be, like, the young guy on the team. Maybe I'm Arnold's, I don't know, assistant or something. I'm training, but Arnold's, like, he's the one training me, so I'm side by side with him. And then I have a really good death scene in the movie where he holds my limp body and screams into the sky. That'd be fucking awesome. So, yeah, I would love to be in Predator. Could you imagine the intro to that? Like, I'm sitting there in the helicopter. I'm a sexual Tyrannosaurus Rex. And I'm just like, fuck yeah, you are, Jesse Ventura. So, that's probably what movie I'd go with. All right. This is a weird Q&A already. Can you tell I'm a little bit hyped up for it? All right. What is your favorite Marvel movie? I love your channel. I'm just 12 years old, but I was inspired by you. I'm inspiring the youth of the nation, everyone. I want you all to know that. Parents are frightened right now. But thanks, man. I appreciate it. So my favorite Marvel film. I actually just watched Guardians of the Galaxy the other night. So I would say, as far as just entertainment value and just like letting go and just enjoying the space opera type thing, I would say Guardians of the Galaxy was probably just one of the more enjoyable Marvel films. But I would say, on a quality standpoint overall, I would probably go with The Winter Soldier. So I would say those are probably like the two best Marvel films to date. That's just my opinion. All right. John, how many movies do you have in your Blu-ray collection? Well, good question. I have no clue, but if you want to count them in the upcoming Blu-ray collection video, which I'm shooting probably tomorrow night, so if I shoot it tomorrow night, it'll probably be up sometime Friday. Look out for that. Yeah, every single Blu-ray back there. We're talking about it. It's the yearly entire Blu-ray collection video. It's going to get a little bit intense, a little bit creepy, a little bit magical, a little bit mystical, but fuck it. It's going to be a fun time. And I'm looking forward to it. I have a few really good ideas for intros for it. I'm not quite sure which one I'm... Like, would you guys rather see the Batman-style intro or the Saul-style intro? I'm not quite sure which one I'm going to do yet. I think the Batman one would be a little bit more epic and inspirational. So yeah, if you want to count the Blu-rays in that video, please do. Because I want to know. Alright, what would be a more uplifting experience? Morgan Freeman greeting you at the pearly gates of heaven, or Tom Hardy as Bane rubbing baby oil all over a 1980s Sylvester Stallone every day while you work out for the rest of your life? What the fuck is that? What? Okay, am I Sylvester Stallone in that question? Because unless I'm getting the baby oil rubbed on me, I don't care. You know what would even be better than that? The Bane rubbing baby oil on me as Morgan Freeman hums my ear. Oh, that's nice, Jonathan. Oh, that's real nice. My name is Morgan Freeman. Terrible Morgan Freeman impression, but you left it open for me to do. Even though you don't upload as much as other reviewers, you are still my favorite. Keep it up, bro. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. And I do get inconsistent on my uploads, and I don't upload as often as some other people, and I'll tell you why. Let me take another drink of this. Hang on. By the way, I always get comments, John, your heart's going to explode because you drink too many energy drinks. I only drink these when I make videos. So typically maybe 3 of these a week. So no big deal. All right. It's not like I drink them 3 times a day or anything. But I do drink pre-workout every day. So that's actually about 4 times more caffeine than the energy drink. But anyway, back to your question. Yeah, the thing about uploading movie reviews, for example, this is why I don't upload as many movie reviews as other people. Because I simply can't bring myself to review every single movie that comes out. I just don't have it in me. There's like, the majority of movies that come out are just mediocre, forgettable. So for me to sit down, talk about that for 30 minutes, edit it into a 5-minute video, go in there and actually do the editing for 3 hours and upload it, and make the thumbnail and waste another hour doing that, that's an entire night of me talking about a mediocre movie I don't give a shit. And no one's going to remember that movie in 2 weeks. So I find that to be a waste of time. So what I would rather do is conserve my energy. That way when I want to talk about something, I can be enthusiastic about it and care about it and give you guys a better video. So that's typically what I do. And if there was 5 good movies that came out in the same week that I wanted to talk about, I would review all 5 of those movies. It just, some weeks you just get mediocre things and you just don't want to waste your time talking about them. And that's my thing. And the other thing is, the reason I don't review as many movies as other reviewers is my city is a mid-size. I live in Fort Wayne, Indiana, so it's not quite big enough to get early press screenings. If I lived in a larger city, I could apply for press screenings and probably get them because of my main channel, the Flick Pick. But, a lot of other, like my buddy Stuckman, Jeremy Johns, they live in bigger cities, so they get early reviews of movies. So if I could go see a movie a week early or a month early and have all that extra time to sit around, think about it, and then review it, well, I'd probably do that. But my thing is, I have to go on Thursday night. By the time the movie's over, it's Friday morning. Then I'm tired as shit. Then I have to stay up all night reviewing a movie. And it's just, the earliest I can ever get a movie review up is sometime Friday afternoon, like at the earliest. So that makes it a little bit tough to kind of keep up. So those are a few reasons. But I try. All right. Hey, what are the best exercises to get rid of stomach fat? That's a good question, man. Well, the thing is, to get rid of any fat, you got to go on a caloric deficit. You got to cut your calories. You got to burn more than you're consuming to burn fat. But keep in mind, you can still consume the right amount of protein to keep your muscle mass and everything, so you don't just get all skinny and weird like Christian Bale in the movie The Machinist. But yeah, that's probably the best way to get rid of stomach fat. You just got to go on a caloric deficit. And wherever the fat starts burning off is up to your genetics. Some people, might lose fat in their arms first, their stomach. Some people have stubborn, fat deposit areas on their body. Me, personally, the only place I really get fat is I get a little bit of lower back fat. That's kind of like if I start getting fat, that's where it goes. Nowhere else. So that's kind of a weird, strange phenomenon. But yeah, go on just cut your calories, watch your carbs, and do some cardio, and you'll start losing fat in no time. All right, the next question is, hang on, let me find it here. Do you ever think about doing a house tour video? I've showed my house throughout videos. I've done a Flick Cave tour video. Go watch that. It's like 15 minutes long on the Flick Pick channel. I go in detail about everything in this room. But as far as a house tour video, there's not much to my house. There's nothing really interesting. Like, I've showed this room. This is the most interesting room in the house. Everything else is just like, yeah, that's a living room. That's a kitchen. It's not all that amazing or, phenomenal. But I probably won't be living in this house. I think I'm going crazy. I think I'm going to move in spring sometime. I'm actually kind of looking at houses right now. I am moving to another house. I actually I want a bigger house. I have ideas and creative inspirations and motivations, and that's what I want to do. So yeah. And then when I get that house, I will give you a house tour video. What kind of phone do you have? I have a Galaxy S6. I actually just got this a week or two ago. I love it. The camera on this is phenomenal. It has 60 frames per second. I actually just discovered that feature the other night. And I've been shooting more vlog videos because I got a new phone. That was a problem forever. I'd be out somewhere and I'd have I feel like making a video, but my camera on my phone was, it was an HTC One. And the camera started to go out. The audio was all screwed up. The picture quality looked terrible. So that's why I wasn't doing, random vlog videos that often. But now I do them often because I have a good camera phone. John, I really like you and Chris Stuckman better than the pro reviewers. And by that, I mean like Collider Movies, not bashing Collider. I watch them as well in channels like that because I feel like we fans get a better reaction to movies than the pros, so keep it coming, man. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. And I agree with you on that, because here's the thing about YouTube. I think a lot of YouTube channels try to be overly produced, and they do all the typical overly produced things. They try to make their channel turn into like Entertainment Tonight, and it gets a little bit stereotypical. It gets a little bit bland, and when you overproduce something, there's no real personality shining through with that. And that's the whole thing about YouTube. YouTube is about, voyeurism. It's about feeling like you're in a room with somebody that you could be friends with, and they're just talking to you, and, not at you. They're not reading off a script. And that's what I like. I don't like the overly produced feeling. I go out of my way sometimes. Like, sure, I could do a movie review or something and really keep it to bullet points and script it all and make it feel very well produced and very cliche. But I go out of my way to break that barrier sometimes and just say random things off the cuff just to, to keep it a little bit more personable. That's the word we want, personable. When you get overly produced, you lose that personable aspect. So there's a lot of YouTube channels that talk about like movie news, for example, and it's just some guy that some production company hired off the street. He's standing in front of a green screen. He's obviously reading off a teleprompter, and he's just giving you the most generic bullet points ever. And you're just like, I could have just read an article within 10 seconds and got the same information. And I'm just not a fan of that. So I understand what you're saying, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Hey, John, I love your videos. What's your favorite guilty pleasure horror film? Ooh. Why do you guys ask the tough... Like, it's hard just to pick favorites like that. I don't know. I'm going to go with... Nightmare on Elm Street has always scared the shit out of me, but I wouldn't consider that a guilty pleasure. I kind of just like the quality horror film genre type movies. I don't like the really crappy, junky ones. I can't watch them. We'll go with that. Yeah. But on a side note, for some odd reason, I've been really in the mood to watch Mortal Kombat lately. Yeah, Mortal Kombat, the video game movie. I've actually had it sitting on my shelf for like 3 weeks now, and I'm just like, I feel like watching Mortal Kombat, but I never get around to it. All right, the next question is, I saw that you said you saw Sicario. What were your thoughts on it, and what grade would you have given it? I'd give it a solid A. I loved that movie. It was better than I expected, and I can't believe I waited 2 weeks to actually go watch it in the theater. I do regret not reviewing it, but it's definitely in my top 10 best of the year. I can tell you that. I love the way the film was directed. I love the acting. I thought it was Benicio del Toro's best film he's ever been in. I thought it was the best role he's ever played, and it was just a really brutal, intense film. The suspense levels were always high, and there's and I'm not spoiling anything. Calm down. There's a kind of a scene where there's a convoy of vehicles leaving Mexico at one point, and they're probably going to be ambushed. And the suspense in that scene was just phenomenal. Like, I could feel little tingles all over, especially right there. And it kind of had like a Michael Mann type vibe from like the movie Heat during that sequence, or at least to me it did. Really love the film. All right. The next question is, John, The Martian or Interstellar? Ooh, I got to itch my nose for that one. Okay. Let me say this. Interstellar was a really good film. I enjoyed it. Was it as good as I wanted it to be? No, it didn't quite live up to the expectations I placed for it. And I think some things were a little bit, they kind of dwindled a little bit. Love conquering all. I'm sorry, I didn't want that. And there were some aspects of Interstellar I really wanted them to explore more. I wanted more space exploration. I wanted them to actually visit planets. I thought there was so much potential that movie could have had to really just blow people away, because when it comes to these serious sci-fi films, I want them to go to another galaxy or another planet and find alien life. I just feel like there's so many possibilities that you could do with that. And then, the film didn't really explore those things for me. So I was a little bit let down in those regards. So as far as just entertainment purposes go, I think The Martian is a more entertaining film. I was actually pleasantly surprised by The Martian. It was what I expected it to be, and I was happy with that. I thought it was one of Ridley Scott's better films, and I think it was just easier to watch. It was just a film that you could just immerse into and just enjoy, and it has, for me, I think The Martian has more rewatchability than Interstellar, because I remember watching Interstellar when I got it on Blu-ray, and there were portions in that film where I just almost wanted to skip over, and most of those were the Earth scenes, because some things to me in that film just felt like they were lacking, especially some of the character moments. I was just like, that's not what normal people do. So I'm going to go with The Martian on that. What is your daily diet, pre and post gym? Keep up with the dope content and keep in shape. Thanks, man. I'll keep pumping if you keep watching. All right. I have the weirdest, probably not the weirdest, but I have an odd daily diet. Typically, I'll just break it down for you. I'll give you a typical day in the life of John. I go to bed in the morning. I sleep all day like a vampire. I hate sunlight. And for me personally, because I work from home, there's nothing to do between the hours of 6 o'clock in the morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. There's nothing to do during those hours. All my friends are at work. I have no one to talk to. I might as well sleep during those hours. So what I do is I actually eat breakfast right before I go to sleep typically. So what do I eat? I eat a bowl of oatmeal, and then I put maybe a scoop or 2 scoops of vanilla whey protein in it. And then I drink fat-free milk, or maybe I'll add a little add a little bit of sugar-free chocolate syrup to make chocolate milk, because chocolate milk's delicious. And then on top of that, I might make some egg whites with some ham in it. And I put some sea salt in there. And that might be like a typical breakfast, or I might make some turkey bacon as well. So that's kind of like a typical breakfast I eat. And then I go to sleep, and then I'll wake up sometime in the afternoon. And usually I go to the gym around 5 o'clock. So before I go to the gym, I might eat a big meal, or I might not. So I might wake up and, I don't know, sometimes I run down the street and I get these breakfast burritos from this place called Elmo's. They're pretty good. Or I might just eat something small, like some more oatmeal, or I might make like a tuna sandwich, or something along those lines, or I just might eat a few protein bars. I don't know. And then after the gym, that's when I kind of eat dinner. So around 7 o'clock at night's when I eat dinner. And I eat steak, chicken, a chicken burrito. I mean, you name it, I'll eat it. As long as it has protein in it, it's delicious. I also eat a lot of rice. I eat a lot of broccoli, things like that. And then right after the gym, sometimes I might have like a protein shake. So then a few hours later I eat again, and then probably a few more hours I eat a snack, then a few hours after that I eat again. So I eat quite often. It seems like I'm eating more lately than ever. I'm always hungry, and I don't know. Like I actually made grilled chicken patties the other night, yesterday. I made 6 of them. They're gone. So yeah, eating's fun, and make sure you get your protein. All right. Here's another question. What equipment do you use to film your videos? All right, so as far as equipment goes, I actually was going to make a video all about this, going into detail, and I still might, but I use 2 softbox lights. I have a Rode video mic right here. It's a shotgun type mic, and I keep that on a separate tripod than my camera, because when I typically shoot videos, I keep the mic closer to me than the camera, but I just put it off frame somewhere. And then I have a Canon Vixia HF G10, I believe is the camera I use. I've owned it for a couple years now. I love it. Not a fan of DSLR cameras. I don't like them. I think there's too many manual settings in them, and they're not actually made for filming video. Like, you can claim they are, but they're not made for that. That is not really their intended main use. They're supposed to take pictures. That's why they shut off after 20 minutes of use. And when I make videos, I talk a lot longer than 20 minutes. We've been talking 28 minutes right now almost. Yeah, so that's why I use this type of camera. And DSLRs, they look great, but this camera here, the functionality is just easier to use for videos. What else is there? Oh, I have a couple lights down here that are LED changing color lights. I use those for backlighting. It's all about ambiance, people. You know, you got to make things look pretty and bright. It's like Batman and Robin in here. There's all these fluorescent lights glowing. I'm Mr. Freeze. Nice to meet you. And then for video editing, I'm currently still using Pinnacle Studio. I fucking hate it. It's the bane of my existence. I literally bash my brains in every time I edit a video. It probably crashes every 10 minutes. But when it's working, it's phenomenal. It does everything I need it to. Why didn't they make a software editing program that doesn't crash every 10 minutes? That's my question to you, Pinnacle. By the way, burn in hell. But I do want to get Adobe Premiere and Adobe After Effects for video editing. I think that's what I'm leaning towards for the next video editing software. But I need to check into it more. You know, I do a lot of research and then I try out different editing programs, and I just hate how convoluted they are. So, yeah, that's kind of my typical setup. Yeah. John, how do you get big traps like Tom Hardy? Yeah, well, that's tough. That's a tough one because, okay, we'll take Tom Hardy, for example. If you've ever really looked at Tom Hardy in a movie, like when he wants to get big, he has the appearance and the illusion of looking bigger than he is because the guy just was genetically gifted with huge fucking traps. I mean, look in the film Bronson. He is flexing those things the entire movie to have the appearance of being bigger than he is. Look at him as Bane. He is flexing his traps the entire time to have that appearance that he is actually bigger than he is. And that's what traps do. They give you the illusion of looking bigger than you are. And if you flex them the entire time, you will look bigger. So, yeah, as far as traps go, they're mostly genetic, but you can get them. A few ways to get traps is you got to do shrugs. You got to do heavy dumbbell shrugs, maybe 10 to 12 reps. You got to do a lot of sets. I hit traps probably 3 times a week. And I have a main day where I work out traps, and I usually do that on my back day because traps, yeah, they're setting on your shoulder, but they're actually located, they run down your back. So that's the day I hit traps. Another way to get traps is do upright rows with a weight. Maybe grab a barbell or a curling bar and put a good amount of weight on it. I mean, I'm saying you should barely be able to do these 10 reps. By the last rep, you should fail. So that's the kind of weight that you want to go with because they can take a lot of weight. Just so, you know, really push them. So upright rows like that, that'll hit your traps. Another way is you could go do shrugs with the barbell. You can do shrugs like that. Or dumbbell shrugs are my personal favorite because you can go to the side and get up. You can even go up higher. And it's all about pushing up your traps and squeezing them and going down nice and slow. Then coming back up, exploding, and squeezing them. So that's how you get big traps. And like I said, I work out traps 3 times a week. And over the years, I mean, go look at some of my earlier videos and look at my later videos, or go to my Instagram. I'll put the links down below, and just go look at some of my before and after pictures, before working out and after working out, and you can just see the traps just getting taller and taller and taller. And that was something I always wanted, because for me, traps are like that one muscle that just make you look strong. They look like they almost, here's how I think of traps. They're like support beams for your arms and your shoulders. Like if you don't have that support beam right there, it's just like, how the hell is this thing even staying on, you know? And the thing is, if you do build up your traps, your trapezius muscles, you will actually get stronger in other areas. Your shoulders will get stronger, your arms will get stronger, because it is almost like a support. Because when you have that extra support, you know, if you're doing shoulder presses or whatever, it's a muscle that kind of helps stabilize the rest of your arm to push that extra weight. So keep that in mind. And I think the one thing is, we're really talking about traps. I'm going to make this the last question of the video because I'm getting too excited. I want to go fucking work out right now. Let's go work out. Everyone go get your pre-workout and your protein. I'll meet you in the parking lot in 10 minutes. But the other thing about traps is there's a lot of guys I hang out with at the gym and stuff. And they're strong. They're big dudes, but they don't, for some reason, they either don't work out their traps or they just genetically don't have them. And for me, when you don't have that kind of that angle going up right here, you basically don't have a neck anymore. That's what we're going for. But when you don't have that, it almost makes you look like you don't even work out. That's aesthetically, traps to me look aesthetically pleasing. So yeah, hope that answered your question. And usually here's what I do. Every day I take a 45-pound plate and I do upright shrugs with it just to kind of warm up my traps, and I just to hit them a little bit. You got to get a little pump in your traps at all times. So I hope that answered your trap question. I feel like we talked about that a little bit too long. So anyway, guys, as usual, leave your questions down below, your comments. Let me know how you're doing, and like I said in the beginning of this video, make sure you check out the brand new Flip Trip video and the newest Walmart vlog. That's right, I go to Walmart, and I hide under an aisle, and I talk to you guys for a little bit. Like I said, it's a little bit weird, but all those links are down below. And look out for the new Blu-ray collection video coming very soon, probably Friday at some point. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.